What's up, y'all? It's the Authentic Empress. Okay. So, channel messages. I just keep picking up on this energy of waiting for you to conform. You know, waiting for you to conform to something you're simply not. To something that there's something about your energy that's very set apart from literally all communities that you could be a part of. Okay. And it has nothing to do with you being flashy. um it has nothing to do with that. It has nothing to do with um accolades, materials. It has nothing to do with any of that, but it has a lot to do with your gratitude for how God created you. Your gratitude for exactly the way that God created you. Okay. Um, Now, regardless of how you're adorning yourself, okay, as far as your clothes and stuff like that, I'm saying like more so you, okay? How can I make this very clear? There's this like hidden energy, right? Of celebrating people who conform to some type of like overall general programming, and there's many of them. Okay, there's many of them, but there are some that are very obvious. You know, it's all around us, and I just keep picking up on this energy of people waiting for you to conform. And literally basing where they're going to put you, how they're going to celebrate you or not, okay? What they're going to support or not, based on if there's something about you that conforms to something that they're supposed to break free from. I was sitting here thinking about, y'all remember a while ago, there was this short or this movie, or it's kind of like a comedy horror movie where it was about hair, and it was about how hair carries energy if it's not your hair. So I just got this glimmer of God just bringing memories back to me in regard to that. And what I mean is, I remember seeing documentaries about women who had to cut their hair, you get what I'm saying? Some for ritualistic purposes, others to make money, okay, for their family. And some of them not even really wanting to do it, okay? Some of them being forced to. But again, let's just talk about it, right? Let's talk about rituals and witchcraft and the things that people, the ingredients that people use in a brew in order to do some type of form of witchcraft on a person. Using hair, for example, hair, nails, teeth, spit, semen, blood, DNA. Okay, so going back to that movie, it was a really, really big thing when that movie came out about the weave. Okay, and so people was talking about it. It was hot. When it was hot, people was talking about it. But people talked about it. You feel me? People did their commentary, and then it was on to the next thing. A lot of people didn't really take it serious because aesthetic mattered more, right? Because insecurity, even though it can be silent, okay, even though it can manifest as other things, was a little louder, right? And this is not going to be a whole spiel about that, okay? The point of this particular reading, or the energy that I'm picking up on, is people waiting for you to conform because of how they're weaponizing certain things that most people get, okay, or that people get in excess as a result of them conforming. You get what I'm saying? So this whole Usher thing, right? I touched on it a little bit in my last video, but that video was damn near 3 hours long. So I want to touch on it again. When I say I'm so sick of seeing these goddamn posts about Usher, this grown ass, married ass man, whining and complaining about this grown ass woman who can make decisions for her fucking self and does not have to do what everybody else is doing just because that's the thing. Just because that's what you expect. Just because that's what people put on a pedestal. That's what people praise. Okay, and let's be very clear. She said herself, hey, I'm a fan of the both of them. However, I really wanted to get on stage for Chris. I was not told that I was, had to be in close proximity or do, these expected from the masses, acts of desperation. I didn't know that I was expected to do that, And so many people jumped on the bandwagon to attack somebody that they don't know personally, somebody who happens to be very physically attractive. Let's talk about it. So, this is why I'm so annoyed with the shit. Why the hell is it being talked about this fucking long? 1. 2, I just seen a post before I went live. And I think in the words of Shade Room, they said something along the lines of things are back in motion, or like he got it back together because a desperate ass female went on stage and humiliated herself for clout, or to be approved by the masses, to be celebrated, disregarding the rest of her fucking life for a moment with a married man on stage. Just because everybody, I'm telling you, there's this constant weaponizing of masses to force people to conform to things that God wouldn't even approve of you doing. What the hell? Y'all, so it's to the point of people are expecting the power of multiplicity to force you to back down, even out of like what God, you know what I'm saying, would prefer you do with yourself or with your decisions. And now I'm taking it a step further and including God. You get what I'm saying? Because God, all knowing, all powerful. Hey, we're God believing on this channel. I know there's a lot of different ideologies and da. Okay? This is why even lately God has guided me to share posts on my channel, on my platform, of even scientists proving the existence of God. Because that's another energy that I'm picking up on. There's definitely a lot of effort being put into trying to make people, and not just anybody, but believers, so targeting believers specifically, and trying to make them doubt the existence of God, right? Oh, law of attraction, oh, and all that stuff is real, all that stuff is legitimate. However, it does not prove that God isn't real, that God doesn't exist. If anything, we're just talking about all the phenomena that God has created in different ways. So, there's something about that that's significant as well. Now, let's get back into using people, the masses, the programmed, using them to force you to conform to things that go outside of whatever your soul is guiding you to do. Because it's happening all around us. Damn. I'm going to say this, right? Just like there are strong objections, defense to protect certain beliefs surrounding people's sexuality and how people should adorn themselves, and uh, there's this whole split between people who prefer natural and people who, oh, ain't nothing wrong with all the other shit. Why are y'all going so hard against people who are just as strong in their beliefs when it comes to preferring people be natural? Natural women, natural men. Okay? Why can't the just position, I'm just trying to understand. Why can't people be strongly supported in either belief, in either judgment? Why is there more for one than there is the other? Why are more people willing to bash one and put the other on a pedestal? Why can't they both equally? And that's the thing, they lead by making it seem like, oh, this is for equality. But why is there so much energy and effort put behind bashing people who believe otherwise? People who prefer in their household and how they raise their children, they prefer to raise their boys as boys, their girls as girls. Damn, why the fuck is there so many people ready to lock these people up, cancel them, protest them, come after them with pitchforks? Huh? What is going on? What is happening? But this whole idea that they're trying to force on everybody, like, do y'all notice? No, there are some people who simply have differences in opinions, differences in beliefs, especially when it comes to things like that. Come on now. But with the whole, for example, the Black Boy Mac situation, the guy in that video that said what he said to him and he expressed his beliefs, why are there so many people jumping on the bandwagon to cancel him? Why can't, like, there are people who believe as how he believes. There are some people who think that way. That is their perception. There's people who agree with him, right? Just like there's people who agree with, oh damn, you know, you ain't have to do Buddy like that. You ain't got no business talking to Buddy like that. Why not? Y'all allow everything else to fly under the radar. People just being reckless, like people who should be responsible with their influence and having a platform, but we praise whatever influence they have for the simple fact that they have a huge audience. For the simple fact because they look good. Because they look good, because they got a huge audience, they have a huge subscriber count, blah, blah, blah. There's a lot of things. Y'all just sweep, or so, I ain't gonna say y'all because it's not all of us, but so many people in large capacity are sweeping under the radar, making excuses for her. But then play crazy, okay? The contradiction of it all. It's the contradiction of it all. Then play crazy when certain dangers find itself into our households, to our children, to our public spaces. Then play dumb and play crazy. Like, come on now, what's going on here? We can do the same thing with this whole Usher, Chris Brown shit, right? I'm pretty sure there's a lot of women who I'm gonna say this too, because there are women who want to be a baby mama depending on the dollar, right? Depending on the clout, they okay with it because they basic. Yeah, I said it. Anyway, however, there's a lot of women who did not want to be a baby mama. There's a lot of women who did not appreciate being treated like shit, switched up on, lied to, whatever, flip floppity flop, by the man that they laid down with and allowed not only to penetrate her, on all levels, not just their body, but create an entryway for a soul, okay? Going through the birthing process of creating a baby. Do you know what a woman's body goes through when she's creating a baby? Do you know a woman comes this close to death first of all, not just having a baby, but creating the baby and having the baby? A woman could lose her fucking life. I just feel like there's a whole lot of desensitization around things that we should like really put on a pedestal of seriousness. Come on. It's a very serious matter to have a baby, to form a baby in your body. And just because something happens so often does not make it okay or normalize it. So let's go back to it. Yes, he's Chris Brown. Yes, he's whoever who's famous and known and makes amazing music or content and blah, 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 blah. That man got how many baby mamas? For why? And when you think about people who are not as well off as somebody like Chris Brown or somebody like the celebrities, right? When you think about people who are not as well off, what are the excuses when a baby mother or a baby dad falls short when it comes to caring for their children? What's the excuses? It's not enough money. Can't afford it. So what's the excuse for Chris, Nick, and all these motherfuckers? What is the excuse? For them having multiple baby mamas. That's some reckless ass shit. Damn, like... So I said that to say, y'all doing a lot about these men who are not going to be pillars or strong towers in your personal life for real. I'm just saying, it's never worth it. Just because he's whomever and he's famous, it's never worth getting up there. If he's not your man, it's never worth getting up there and having these 304 activities with these men live for everybody to see, no class. You know what I'm saying? Just because of who they are and what they got. Come on now. But you'll shit on your baby daddy because he not famous. You should have, You'll humiliate your baby daddy. Okay. You'll shame him. Okay. Because he's not famous, because he's not well known, because he doesn't have a lot of money. But unless he does, if he does have a lot of money, if he is famous, if he does have some type of clout that the programmable masses hold to a pedestal, you'll give him a pass. What the fuck is wrong with society, bro? What's going on? What's going on? What's happening? But I get it though. I get it. It's a lie. It's a lie. It's like, oh my God, like it's really sad how people allow others to live their lives for them. Because that's what it is. They allow other people's opinions that ain't got shit to do with the divine. Ain't got nothing to do with balance, self-mastery, self-love, or self-respect. Ain't got nothing to do. It has everything to do with conforming to bullshit that works against your life, that works against your destiny. That's what it has everything to do with. It ain't got nothing to do with love. It ain't got nothing to do with support. It ain't got nothing to do with respect. It don't have nothing to do with any of that. But just because a large mass of people says so, you gonna modify your life according to those people. What the fuck? Huh? Okay. So again, Divine Collective, there's this energy of people, and this is not to even bash them, people who have submitted fully to insecurities, waiting for you to conform. Like they're watching, they're waiting for you to conform as they have, right? Even if their reasons for conforming feels validated because of some type of support that they get, okay? That's what it is. So what do they do with people who are standing steadfast? What do they do to us? They weaponize the things that they give so freely to people who conform to bullshit, who conform to a manner of existing that influences behaviors that actually set us back. Influence behaviors that actually turn us against ourselves and thus against one another. That forces us to conform to a superficial reality or a superficial way of existing and being and thinking. That's what they're waiting for. They're waiting for you to do that. They're waiting for those of us, the few of us who have not done that. They're waiting. They're trying to influence, conjure, revoke, do whatever tactic or strategy. And to be honest, this is probably bigger, more than likely it is bigger than the people, the small people. And I ain't even trying to call them small like that. But if we look at the hierarchy of our world, when you think about the government, you think about shit like that, and, you know, spiritual wickedness in high places, principalities. When it comes to those things, those are the ones that's really like trying to like influence us to also conform to a lower level of self-awareness. Okay, that's what I've been getting. So yesterday I had lightly touched on, for example, if you're a beautiful woman in this day and age, if you're a beautiful woman and you're single, and so you have to work to sustain yourself, things like that, you know, there's a whole lot of promotion, okay, in regards to selling yourself, as in like selling your body, treating yourself or your body as just some type of transactional like thing, you know what I'm saying, like object. Like they want us to conform to objectifying ourselves. So, but I'm just, it's nothing to be confused about. Damn, like that's what's getting me. We find ourselves having these conversations about things that are very obvious, okay? Like especially when it comes to them trying to get us to conform to shit, right? That keeps our consciousness stunted. Sit down. And we'll have the conversation. It'll be this big wave. The conversation will be trending for some time. But after that, it just drifts off to the wayside. There's no change behavior on a larger scale followed. If anything, it looks like the shit that they're wanting us to conform to, the programs, the conditioning, it seems like that is what's actually taking over more than anything else. I mean, damn, like, I feel like everybody, to an extent, should have a voice and have an avenue to express themselves. You get what I'm saying? But just because everybody's expressing themselves and we can support them having that confidence and expressing themselves and being vulnerable, that doesn't mean that everything that people express should be something that we follow and regurgitate in our own lives. Damn. Like, it's crazy to me. That's crazy to me. But I'm noticing what I feel like is a connection as well. I feel like in every community, whether it's spiritual communities, whatever the case may be, and this is not to take away from people's gifts, from people's accurate information or anything like that. I feel like people support the people who they feel look more like them when it comes to us conforming to things that we should not be conforming to. Okay? I feel like this is giving macro, micro aggressions or macro, micro influences. What's the best way for me to say this? If in the music we used to have this whole conversation about them objectifying women in the music, right? It used to be a whole little trending topic. Sometimes it comes back up. People talk about it here and there. But y'all know how it is. We'll talk about it for a good little while and then it drifts away. And people just go back to like this was never a conversation. Like this was never something we were supposed to examine. So then there's all these different cross programmings to influence us to objectify ourselves as women. Instead of making a connection, though, now we have the women going against other women. Now we got women or men who present themselves as women also going against women. Whoa. Whoa. Now we got men who have some type of unaddressed mother wound going against women. Whoa. Whoa, that's a lot. Okay? But again, we can address it from both genders. Men. Okay? We talked about how men are being, or what the overall programming and influence that they're trying to do to our men through music, through images, through movies, shows, power. But then we talk about it, it's trending, we complain about it, we draw the connections and pattern recognition, and then we praise the same shit. Because of the representation, we turn around and we praise the same shit that we complain about is ruining our men or distorting our men. What the fuck? Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Because it's not making sense. It's just not. It's not making sense. Now, I'll give you an example. I'm going to use me as an example. I don't think I've ever watched Power. I was never on that wave. I'm not knocking anybody who has. Okay? I just was not on that wave. There's a lot of waves I was not on. I wasn't on that wave with Power. Oh, the new Power episode. Oh. Another thing. Why is it that people who are making or choosing to be the kind of examples that actually set our children back or set our young women back, our young men back, why is it that when they get in their feelings because people are holding them accountable, all right? People are judging them. Why is it that when they get in their feelings, we then overturn righteous judgment just because they're in their feelings? They should be. They should be in their feelings. It's not okay what you're doing. It's not okay what you're putting out. It's not cool. Okay? This is what it's doing. Look what it's doing to your life. Oh, damn. Today is Friday. Hold on one second. But yeah, why is it that because they get defensive, we totally toss out how they're terrible role models, they're terrible influencers. They are. They are. That's the truth. Why are people so jelly back when it comes to standing on the truth, when it comes to holding people accountable who are placed in front of our children, in front of our youth as role models? So anyway, for those of us who refuse to conform to the image, okay, that actually misleads us, the image that actually abuses us, the image that, Lord, that is literally in opposition of our truest form. And to be honest, you know why people are so willing to sell out? People are so willing to sell out for the attention, for the acceptance, for the validation, for the clout. That's why. That's why. If even if you lived something yourself, which most of us have, right? Even if you once participated, which a lot of us have, you no longer participate for a reason. You can be understanding, but still stand your ground. Damn, what has it done for you when you engaged in things that you no longer participate in? What has it done to you? Has it put your life in danger? Like why are the reasons that you no longer participate? Because it's not just an age thing. This is why you have grown-ass adults who are still extremely immature, extremely ignorant, extremely influenced by their peers easily. Oh, Lordy, Lord. And that's what I get. I get that when you make a stand to break out of the cycles that actually deteriorate us, that deteriorate our mind, deteriorates our soul, deteriorates, our beliefs and our faith even, okay? Deteriorate your body. This is even being like, okay, no longer conforming to certain lifestyle habits, no longer or never conforming to extreme unnecessary cosmetics. You get what I'm saying? Oh, you better get on the wave. You over here, like how J. Cole said, crooked smile. Love yourself, girl, nobody will. They told me I should fix my grill because I got money now. I ain't gonna sit around in front like I ain't thought about it. Ain't nothing wrong with, proper, normal oral health. But this whole like huge veneer wave, I just feel like what happened to cases just being more like exclusive? When people find themselves making decisions that put their life at risk just so they can get on a wave, that's a problem. It's not okay. It's not okay. It's not. And that's with anything. That's with anything you do cosmetically. If it's not life-threatening, if it's not truly a necessity, why the fuck are you doing it? Because it's a trend? Because you're going to get some type of clout? Because you're going to get that validation? You're going to be put higher up on a pedestal? So again, for those of us who don't conform, okay, who rather deal with the complexities of people feeling intimidated by our genuine confidence that we build, okay, and not confidence that's based on something that's not truly a part of us. It's something that we can just take and put on us. This shit right here is a part of me. This is a part of me. Listen, I talked about how when you're somebody who's natural by any means necessary, and you happen to be beautiful or attractive, people will try to attract your body. They'll try to attack your body, your looks, all that shit, just to try to force you to conform, to put that makeup on over that little breakout. I didn't have this shit yesterday before I did that video. All of a sudden, that's how jealous and envious bitches really are. The fuck? And guess what? Still natural. No makeup. Damn. Scars and all. But they just quietly waiting for you to conform to something that's another thing. Oh, you got a stomach. You got that weight. You need to get some cosmetic surgery. No, I'm okay. I'll be alright. I'm cool with it. I'll do the hard work and work out. You feel me? I'm chilling right now. I don't feel any less beautiful because I got some extra weight on me. I don't feel less beautiful. I don't feel less attractive. I don't feel any pressure. I don't feel like I need to put on that what is it called? I don't feel like I need to put on the damn waist trainer shit. No. This what I'm working with right now, baby. I'm not irresponsible. I know there's some work I can do. There's always room for improvement. Even when my body is super duper banging, there's still room for improvement in all areas of life. When you have that type of mindset, when you truly love yourself, man, they do everything possible to try to get you to conform to self-hatred. Because when you think about fallen angels, and when you think about demonic beings or people who are giving over their will, is like just giving over to that reprobated energy, they are in a fixed energy of self-hatred. Is that everybody? No. But again, if in some way, shape, or form you align with the program, even in the slightest, right? People are going to naturally celebrate that more. It don't matter what you're talking about. People are going to naturally celebrate that more because the things about them that they need to be addressing, that they need to be working on or whatever, if they see you still indulging in it, even in the slightest, oh my God, it's like a contradiction. You can be intuitive, you can be discerning, and again, it doesn't take away from you helping somebody. You honoring God to that extent. You know what I'm saying? Honoring your purpose to that extent. However, I just want to call a spade a spade. For those of us who do not conform to things that actually contribute to insecurities, then those insecurities contributing to acts of hatred, acts of desperation, acts of humiliation. It's something to look into, and it's something to consider. I'm just going to say that. It's something to consider. Yeah, it's definitely something to consider. I love humankind. I love my people who have positive and good intentions for the people, okay? Who use their minds, their knowledge, their skills, their intuition, their spiritual gifts with the intention to guide people towards freedom, any kind of freedom from any kind of bondage. I respect it. God respects it. However, I just feel like that's something to consider, though, for those of us who truly exist boldly and confidently as God has created us, and how we do get punished or influence or support is more so manipulated or restricted or limited with us. It's almost like a threshold. They need us to conform to a certain look or a certain whatever or a certain lifestyle in order for us to like really get the support we truly deserve. You get what I'm saying? Especially if you consider social media. I just want to make a point and say that